Have you ever felt like no matter how much effort you put into your relationships, your value goes unnoticed? Maybe you've tried to please others, impress them with grand gestures, or even downplayed your worth just to fit in. And yet you still end up feeling invisible, undervalued, or even taken for granted. It's a painful cycle, isn't it? But here's the thing. The problem isn't just them. It's not entirely about how they treat you. It's about how you've been taught to see yourself. You've probably bought into the false belief that your value comes from what others think, how much you do for them, or how perfect you try to be. That's the myth. Now, here's the truth. People will only value you when you understand your own worth and project it in ways they can't ignore. The best part, the secrets to doing this have been hidden in plain sight for centuries, embedded in Stoic philosophy, a way of thinking that helps you live with wisdom, resilience, and purpose. By tapping into these timeless principles, you can rewrite the narrative of your relationships and finally make them see and feel your value. Stick with me as we uncover 10 powerful, actionable ways to actually make them value you, not with superficial tricks, but with transformative strategies rooted in stoicism and practical wisdom. Each step builds on the last, creating a rhythm of self-discovery and empowerment that can revolutionize your relationships. Let's start where it all begins with you. 1. Start with your inner value. If you don't value yourself, why should anyone else? It's a tough question, but one worth asking. Many of us fall into the trap of searching for external validation, thinking our worth depends on someone else's approval. But the Stoics remind us that your true value is internal. It's not something others give you, it's something you cultivate. Pause for a moment and reflect. Do I truly believe I'm valuable? Not because of what I own, who I know, or what I do, but because of who I am. If the answer feels uncertain, don't worry, you're not alone. The good news is that building inner value is possible for everyone. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That strength is your foundation. When you believe in your own worth, it radiates outward, and others can't help but notice. So how do you start? First, stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy and the destroyer of self-worth. Instead, focus on what makes you unique. What are your strengths, passions, and values? Write them down. Reflect on them daily. Every time you acknowledge your qualities, you're solidifying your sense of inner value. Second, practice self-respect. Respect isn't just about setting boundaries, though we'll get to that later. It's about how you treat yourself when no one else is watching. Are you kind to yourself, or do you let self-doubt and criticism take over? A simple Stoic exercise to combat negativity is journaling. Each morning, jot down 3 things you respect about yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, it rewires your mindset. Finally, remember that inner value isn't about perfection. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our humanity, flaws and all. Perfection is a myth that keeps you stuck in insecurity. True value comes from authenticity, from showing up as yourself, not a polished version of who you think you should be. As you nurture your inner value, you'll notice a shift. People will start treating you differently, not because they've changed, but because you have. Confidence rooted in self-respect and authenticity is magnetic. It commands attention without demanding it. Now ask yourself, what's one way I can honor my inner value today? Is it saying no to something that doesn't serve you? Speaking up when you usually stay silent? Or simply looking in the mirror and saying, "I am enough"? Whatever it is, start now. Your journey to being valued begins with valuing yourself. If you're ready to unlock the next step and discover how silence can amplify your presence, keep watching. You're about to learn a surprising secret that can transform how others perceive you. 2. Master the art of silence. Have you ever noticed how the loudest person in the room often gets ignored, while the one who speaks sparingly commands attention? There's a quiet power in silence, a power that Stoics understood deeply. Words can be tools for connection, but when used carelessly, they lose their impact. Silence, on the other hand, sharpens your presence. When you learn to master silence, you amplify the value of what you do say, making others sit up and take notice. Let's consider this. How often do you speak just to fill the air? Perhaps you feel uncomfortable with pauses in conversation, or think you need to explain yourself at length to gain approval. These habits may come from a place of insecurity, and they dilute your authority. Marcus Aurelius taught, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." The same applies to how you communicate. Instead of talking about your worth, show it through your actions, and by choosing your words with intention. Imagine a meeting where you stay silent for most of the discussion, observing and listening carefully. When you finally speak, your words carry weight because they're informed and deliberate. Compare this to someone who talks nonstop, offering half-formed ideas. Who do you think will be taken more seriously? Your silence sets the stage for others to truly hear you when you decide to speak. Silence isn't just about withholding words, it's about listening. Most people don't listen, they wait for their turn to talk. But when you practice active listening, you show others they're valued. This simple act creates a powerful impression. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly listened to someone without interrupting or forming a response in my head? Commit to doing it in your next conversation and watch how it transforms the dynamic. There's also a strategic aspect to silence. In moments of tension or negotiation, silence can be your greatest ally. When someone challenges you or pushes for an answer, resist the urge to respond immediately. Pause. Let the silence hang. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it forces the other person to reconsider their position or reveal more than they intended. In this way, silence becomes a tool of influence. For those of you thinking, but won't silence make me seem passive or disengaged? The answer is no, if you pair it with presence. Silence doesn't mean zoning out or shrinking back. It means being fully engaged without needing to fill the space. When you're silent but present, your energy speaks louder than words. People will sense your strength and self-assurance, and they'll value your input when you choose to offer it. The Stoics understood that silence is not just a tool for relationships, it's a path to personal mastery. Seneca wrote, "It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence." Practicing silence doesn't just elevate how others see you, it strengthens your own inner peace. By not reacting impulsively, you gain control over yourself and your interactions. Here's a challenge for you. In your next group discussion or social interaction, try saying less. Resist the urge to fill every gap with chatter. Instead, observe, listen, and speak only when you have something meaningful to contribute. When you do this, notice how others respond differently. Silence creates curiosity, and curiosity leads to value. If you've ever underestimated the power of silence, now's the time to embrace it. And if this insight resonates with you, show your support. Like this video and comment number 1 below to let me know you're ready to start mastering silence. Don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic secrets that will transform your relationships and mindset. Let's keep growing together. Stay tuned for the next step. It's one of the most powerful ways to make them value you. And it's something you've probably overlooked. Get ready to learn how setting firm boundaries can redefine how others see and treat you. 3. Set firm boundaries. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, simply because it feels easier than saying no? Perhaps you're worried about disappointing others or fear being seen as difficult. But every time you agree to something that doesn't serve you, you send an unspoken message. My time and energy are not valuable. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish or unkind. It's about respecting yourself enough to say, this is where my limits are. The Stoics taught us that our time and energy are among our most precious resources. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, reminded us to carefully choose where we focus our efforts, saying, "He who is not master of himself is a slave to others." If you don't take control of your boundaries, others will do it for you, and not always in ways that align with your best interests. Think about a time when you felt drained or resentful because you overcommitted. Maybe it was agreeing to help a coworker at the expense of your own workload, or saying yes to a social event when you desperately needed rest. Those feelings of frustration are signals, your mind and body telling you that you've ignored your own needs. When you consistently override those signals, you teach others that your needs don't matter. But here's the truth. People value what they can't easily exploit. When you establish firm boundaries, you send a clear message that your time, energy, and presence are valuable. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being overly accommodating, but it's a necessary step toward being valued. So how do you start setting boundaries effectively? The first step is identifying where you feel most depleted. Take an honest inventory of your commitments. Which ones feel aligned with your values, and which ones drain your energy. This clarity is essential for deciding where to draw the line. Remember, boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about preserving your well-being so you can show up as your best self. The next step is learning to say no without guilt. Many people struggle with this because they fear rejection or conflict. But saying no doesn't have to be confrontational. It can be polite, firm, and even kind. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do that, try, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I have other priorities right now." This approach communicates respect for both yourself and the other person. Boundaries also require consistency. If you set a limit but don't enforce it, people won't take it seriously. Imagine drawing a line in the sand only to let the waves wash it away. To be respected, your boundaries must be non-negotiable. This doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. It means standing firm in what matters most to you. When others push against your boundaries, as they inevitably will, how you respond is critical. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and composed in the face of challenges. Instead of reacting emotionally, address boundary violations with clarity and confidence. For example, if someone repeatedly interrupts your downtime with requests, you might say, "I value our relationship, but I also need time for myself. I'm happy to help when I'm available, but right now I need to focus on recharging." It's also worth noting that boundaries aren't just about saying no to others, they're about saying yes to yourself. When you prioritize your own needs, you create space for growth, creativity, and meaningful relationships. Boundaries allow you to invest your energy where it truly matters, rather than scattering it across endless obligations. Some people may not react well to your boundaries, especially if they've benefited from your lack of them in the past. That's okay. Stoicism reminds us to focus on what's within our control, our actions, choices, and mindset. You can't control how others respond to your boundaries, but you can control how you uphold them. Over time, the people who truly value and respect you will adapt. As you practice setting boundaries, you'll notice a powerful shift. You'll feel more confident, energized, and in control of your life. And others will start to view you differently, not as someone who can be easily swayed or taken advantage of, but as someone whose time and presence are worth respecting. This is how boundaries create value, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Remember, boundaries are not walls. They don't isolate you from others. They protect the space where authentic connection and mutual respect can thrive. When you stand firm in your boundaries, you're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're teaching yourself what it means to live with self-respect and integrity. As Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By mastering your boundaries, you reclaim your freedom and create relationships where your value is recognized and honored. 4. Embrace the power of gratitude. Gratitude might seem like a soft skill, something nice to have but not essential. However, when it comes to being valued by others, gratitude is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Why? Because people naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel appreciated. Gratitude is magnetic, and when practiced authentically, it shifts the dynamic of your relationships in ways that demand respect. Think about the last time someone sincerely thanked you, not a generic thanks, but a heartfelt expression of appreciation. How did it make you feel? Likely, it strengthened your connection with that person and deepened your respect for them. Now, consider this. Are you consistently creating those moments for others? Gratitude, in the context of Stoic relationships, is more than just saying thank you. It's about recognizing and acknowledging the value that others bring into your life. The Stoics saw gratitude as a cornerstone of wisdom and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This perspective reminds us to approach life and the people in it with reverence. So how do you embrace the power of gratitude in your relationships? First, shift your focus from what's missing to what's already there. It's easy to get caught up in what others aren't doing for us or how they've fallen short. But when you train yourself to see their contributions, even in small ways, it changes the energy you bring to the relationship. Here's a practical exercise. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for in your relationships. It could be as simple as someone's kindness, a thoughtful gesture, or even the challenges that have helped you grow. Write them down or say them out loud. This habit rewires your brain to seek out the positive, which naturally enhances how others perceive you. The next step is expressing gratitude not just in words but in actions. Saying thank you is powerful, but backing it up with meaningful gestures is even more impactful. For instance, if someone goes out of their way to help you, how can you reciprocate? Maybe it's writing a heartfelt note, offering your assistance in return, or simply taking the time to truly listen to them. These acts create a ripple effect, inspiring others to value and respect you even more. Gratitude also strengthens your resilience in relationships. No connection is perfect, conflicts and misunderstandings are inevitable. But when you approach these moments with gratitude, they lose their sting. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on what you've learned or how the relationship has grown because of the experience. This mindset, rooted in Stoicism, empowers you to navigate challenges with grace. Now let's address a common misconception. Gratitude is not about being overly accommodating or letting others walk all over you. True gratitude comes from a place of strength, not submission. It's about acknowledging the good while maintaining your self-respect and boundaries. This balance is key to building relationships where you're genuinely valued. Another essential aspect of gratitude is empathy. When you take the time to understand others' perspectives and appreciate their efforts, you create a deeper sense of connection. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say or do. It simply means valuing their humanity. As Seneca put it, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Imagine the impact of consistently showing gratitude in your relationships. People will start to see you as someone who uplifts, inspires, and values them. This isn't just about making others feel good, it's about creating an environment where respect and appreciation flow both ways. And when that happens, your value becomes undeniable. If this idea resonates with you, let's take a moment to reflect. What's one relationship in your life where you could show more gratitude? Think about how a small, intentional act of appreciation could transform that connection. Start today. Reach out to someone and thank them genuinely and specifically. You'll be amazed at how quickly it shifts the dynamic. And if you're finding these insights helpful, show your gratitude here by liking this video and commenting number 1 below to let us know this message resonates with you. Your support helps this community grow and brings more transformative content to your screen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful Stoic wisdom and practical strategies to build stronger relationships and a more fulfilling life. Together, we're creating a space for growth, connection, and personal mastery. Stay with us because the next step will reveal how to make your actions speak louder than words. 5. Show, don't tell. Actions have a language of their own, a language far more powerful than words. How many times have you encountered someone who talks endlessly about their principles, intentions, or abilities, but their actions tell a different story? It's disappointing, isn't it? That disconnect undermines trust and respect. Conversely, when your actions align with your words, they become undeniable proof of your character and value. Stoicism teaches us the importance of living in alignment with our principles. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." This timeless wisdom reminds us that people are not convinced by what we say we believe. They're convinced by how we live. If you want others to value you, show them who you are through consistent, meaningful actions. Start by identifying the qualities you want to be known for. Do you want to be seen as reliable, Compassionate? Disciplined? Whatever it is, let your daily actions reflect those values. For instance, if reliability is important to you, follow through on your commitments without excuses. If you value kindness, practice small, consistent acts of generosity without expecting recognition. These choices, repeated over time, create a reputation that speaks for itself. Living in alignment with your values isn't just about grand gestures. In fact, it's often the small, unnoticed acts that have the greatest impact. Imagine someone who is consistently punctual, who treats others with respect, and who takes responsibility for their mistakes. They may not shout their achievements from the rooftops, but their actions quietly command respect. This is the essence of showing, not telling. It's also important to understand that consistency builds trust. When your actions are predictable and aligned with your principles, people know they can rely on you. In the context of Stoic relationships, this reliability fosters a deep sense of respect and appreciation. Think about it. When was the last time you truly valued someone who was inconsistent or unreliable? Showing through action also extends to how you handle adversity. When challenges arise, it's easy to talk about resilience and strength. But real respect is earned when you demonstrate those qualities under pressure. The Stoics often practice premeditatio malorum, the anticipation of potential challenges, to prepare themselves mentally and emotionally. By staying calm, focused, and composed during difficult times, you show others that you're someone they can depend on, even when things get tough. Another aspect of showing, not telling, is letting go of the need for constant validation. People who truly embody their values don't need to broadcast their worth. They let their actions do the talking, confident that over time, their efforts will be recognized. This quiet confidence is a hallmark of Stoic wisdom and an incredibly attractive quality in any relationship. One of the greatest challenges in aligning your actions with your values is resisting the temptation to seek shortcuts. It's human nature to want quick results, but true value is built over time. Shortcuts may bring temporary recognition, but they rarely lead to lasting respect. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they've earned your respect through years of consistent effort and integrity. Another key to showing, not telling, is humility. While it's important to let your actions speak, it's equally important not to flaunt them. People value those who are quietly confident rather than boastful. Humility, combined with consistency, creates a powerful impression of strength and self-assurance. Finally, remember that actions have ripple effects. When you consistently live by your principles, you inspire others to do the same. This creates a cycle of respect and value in your relationships. By showing others what you stand for, you encourage them to rise to the same standard, enriching your connections and deepening mutual respect. As you reflect on this principle, ask yourself, what do my actions say about me? Are they aligned with the values I want to embody, or is there room for improvement? If you're unsure, start small. Choose one area of your life where your actions could better reflect your intentions. Commit to a single, consistent habit that supports your values, and watch how it transforms the way others see you. Stoicism reminds us that our actions define our legacy. By living with integrity, consistency, and humility, you not only earn the respect of others, but also deepen your own sense of purpose and fulfillment. This is the path to being truly valued, not through words, but through a life that speaks volumes. 6. Cultivate emotional control. Have you ever noticed how some people seem unshaken, no matter what life throws their way? While others panic, argue, or crumble under pressure, these individuals remain calm and collected, exuding a quiet strength that draws people toward them. That strength is emotional control, and it's a skill that can transform the way others value you. In the chaos of life, emotional composure stands out as a mark of wisdom and self-mastery. Stoicism places great emphasis on controlling our reactions. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life is full of challenges, frustrations, and emotional triggers. You can't control what happens, but you can always control your response. This distinction is the foundation of emotional control and one of the most powerful ways to earn respect. Let's face it, emotional outbursts often stem from insecurity or fear. Whether it's losing your temper in an argument or breaking down under stress, these moments signal to others that you lack control over yourself. On the other hand, when you maintain composure, even in difficult situations, you demonstrate a rare quality: the ability to rise above circumstances and act from a place of strength. So how do you cultivate emotional control? The first step is awareness. Pay attention to your triggers, the situations, words, or people that provoke strong reactions in you. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and take a deep breath. This small act creates space between the trigger and your response, allowing you to choose a course of action that aligns with your values. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. When you're fully present, it's easier to separate your emotions from reality. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and someone cuts you off. Your immediate reaction might be anger or frustration. But with mindfulness, you can step back and ask, does this moment truly define my day? Is this worth my peace of mind? By grounding yourself in the present, you reclaim control over your emotional state. Visualization is another technique rooted in Stoicism. The practice of premeditatio malorum, anticipating potential misfortunes, prepares you to face challenges with grace. For example, if you're heading into a difficult conversation, take a moment to visualize possible outcomes and how you'll respond. This exercise not only reduces anxiety but also helps you approach the situation calmly and confidently. Emotional control isn't just about suppressing negative feelings, it's about channeling them productively. When anger arises, ask yourself how it can serve you. Can it motivate you to take positive action or advocate for what's right? When sadness surfaces, let it deepen your understanding of yourself and others. Every emotion has a purpose. Emotional control means using that purpose wisely. Another aspect of emotional control is learning to let go. Many of us hold on to grudges, disappointments, or regrets, allowing them to cloud our judgment and drain our energy. The Stoics teach us to focus only on what's within our control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Letting go of what you can't control frees you to focus on what truly matters, which is one of the most liberating and empowering acts you can do. Now think about how this quality affects your relationships. When you consistently demonstrate emotional composure, people begin to see you as a source of stability and strength. They respect you because they know you won't react impulsively or let emotions dictate your decisions. This respect translates to value. People trust those who can remain calm under pressure. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel emotions rising, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath, ground yourself, and choose a response that aligns with your principles. It won't be easy at first, but with practice, emotional control will become second nature. If this message resonates with you, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below to share your commitment to cultivating emotional control. Your support helps grow this community of thoughtful, resilient individuals. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more transformative insights inspired by Stoic wisdom and practical strategies to strengthen your relationships and mindset. Stay tuned, because next, we'll explore how being a source of solutions, not problems, can make you indispensable to others. 7. Be a source of solutions, not problems. Think about the people in your life whom you truly value. Chances are, they're not the ones who constantly complain or dwell on what's wrong. They're the ones who inspire action, offer solutions, and bring clarity in moments of confusion. Being a source of solutions rather than problems is a defining trait of those who are highly valued by others. It's not just about being helpful. It's about being someone people can rely on to navigate challenges with wisdom and composure. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to approach obstacles as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you adopt this mindset, you stop seeing problems as roadblocks and start viewing them as invitations to grow and contribute. To embody this principle, begin by shifting your perspective. When faced with a challenge, instead of immediately venting or pointing fingers, pause and ask yourself, what can I do to improve this situation? This question transforms you from a passive observer to an active participant. It empowers you to take ownership of the problem and work toward a solution, which is a quality others deeply respect. In practice, being a source of solutions doesn't mean you need to have all the answers. Sometimes it's as simple as offering a fresh perspective, asking insightful questions, or guiding others toward clarity. For example, in a work meeting where tensions are high and progress is stalled, you might say, "Let's take a step back and identify the core issue here. What's one small step we can take to move forward?" This kind of constructive input shifts the energy of the room and positions you as a leader. Equally important is how you handle negativity. In any group dynamic, there will always be moments of doubt, frustration, or disagreement. Instead of fueling the negativity, use it as an opportunity to redirect focus. If someone says, "This is impossible," you might respond with, "It's definitely a challenge, but let's explore what we can try." This approach not only diffuses tension but also inspires optimism and collaboration. Another way to be a source of solutions is to anticipate problems before they arise. This proactive mindset, rooted in Stoicism, allows you to stay ahead of challenges and support those around you more effectively. For example, if you're planning a project, take the time to think through potential obstacles and prepare contingency plans. When others see that you're prepared and forward-thinking, their trust and respect for you grow. It's also worth noting that sometimes the best solution is simply offering support. Not every problem requires a fix. Sometimes people just need someone to listen, validate their feelings, or provide encouragement. By tuning into the needs of others, you demonstrate empathy and emotional intelligence, which are invaluable qualities in any relationship. However, being solution-oriented doesn't mean taking on everyone else's burdens. Balance is key. It's important to recognize when a problem is outside your control or not your responsibility. The Stoics remind us to focus on our sphere of influence and let go of what we cannot change. By setting clear boundaries, you ensure that your efforts remain meaningful and sustainable. As you cultivate this mindset, you'll notice a profound shift in how others perceive you. When you consistently bring clarity, direction, and optimism to challenging situations, people will begin to see you as indispensable. They'll value your presence not because you solve every problem, but because you inspire progress and resilience. To reflect on this principle, ask yourself, am I bringing solutions to the table or am I amplifying the problems? Consider one area of your life where negativity or stagnation has taken hold. What's one small, actionable step you can take to create momentum? By focusing on solutions, you not only improve the situation but also elevate your relationships and your sense of purpose. This shift isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring challenges. It's about choosing to be the person who sees possibility where others see defeat. This is how you become someone others value deeply, not through words, but through your ability to inspire action, create clarity, and uplift those around you. 8. Pursue excellence quietly. True excellence doesn't need to announce itself. It speaks through your actions, your habits, and the results you achieve over time. Yet in a world obsessed with recognition and instant validation, many people fall into the trap of seeking attention for every effort. But what if the key to making others truly value you lies in pursuing excellence quietly, without the constant need for acknowledgement? Stoicism teaches us to focus on the process rather than the applause. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions." This principle reminds us that the pursuit of excellence should come from within, not from a desire for external validation. When you commit to being the best version of yourself, regardless of who's watching, you cultivate a depth of character that commands respect. To embody this principle, start by redefining what excellence means to you. It's not about perfection or outperforming others. It's about consistently striving to align your actions with your values. Excellence is showing up every day, doing the work, and improving incrementally, even when no one is there to praise you. For example, imagine you're working on a personal project or developing a skill. Instead of broadcasting every small achievement, focus on the craft itself. Dedicate time to practice, refine, and grow. When you finally share the results, they'll speak for themselves. This quiet dedication not only demonstrates humility but also builds trust. People know you're not all talk, you back it up with substance. Another aspect of pursuing excellence quietly is avoiding comparison. It's tempting to measure your progress against others, especially in today's hyper-competitive world. But as the Stoics remind us, the only comparison that matters is with your past self. Ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? This mindset keeps you grounded and focused on what truly matters. Excellence also requires patience. Many people give up when they don't see immediate results or recognition. But true mastery takes time. Seneca advised, "The way is long if one follows precepts, but short and helpful if one follows patterns." In other words, focus on building habits and systems that support your growth, rather than chasing shortcuts. When you commit to the long game, your efforts will eventually shine through, earning the respect of those around you. One of the most powerful things about quiet excellence is the element of surprise. When you don't constantly advertise your efforts, your achievements come as a pleasant revelation to others. This unexpected quality leaves a lasting impression, as people see not only what you've accomplished but also the integrity and humility behind it. But let's address a common fear. Won't I be overlooked if I don't promote myself? The answer lies in balance. While it's important to advocate for yourself when appropriate, let your work be your primary advocate. Speak up when necessary, but let your actions be your loudest voice. People are drawn to those who consistently deliver, not those who merely talk about delivering. To pursue excellence quietly also means embracing failures and setbacks as part of the journey. The Stoics believe that obstacles are opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to see challenges as stepping stones, writing, "What stands in the way becomes the way." When you handle failures with grace and perseverance, you inspire others to see you as resilient and steadfast, qualities that are deeply valued in any relationship. Now, take a moment to reflect. What's one area of my life where I can quietly pursue excellence? It could be your career, a personal passion, or even the way you show up in your relationships. Start by setting clear goals and breaking them into actionable steps. Focus on progress, not perfection, and trust that your efforts will eventually be recognized. If this idea resonates with you, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below to show your commitment to quiet excellence. Your feedback fuels this community and helps us bring you more content rooted in Stoic wisdom and practical growth strategies. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more transformative insights. We're on this journey together, building lives of purpose and value. Stay tuned, because the next step will reveal how empathy and detachment can coexist to create powerful connections. 9. Develop empathy without attachment. Empathy is one of the most powerful ways to connect with others and show them that you value who they are. It bridges divides, deepens relationships, and fosters mutual respect. But empathy without boundaries can lead to emotional exhaustion, blurred lines, and even resentment. The key, as Stoicism teaches us, is to balance empathy with detachment, offering understanding and care without losing yourself in the process. At its core, empathy means genuinely seeing and feeling the world through someone else's perspective. It's the ability to listen without judgment, to acknowledge another's emotions, and to respond with compassion. This creates a sense of safety and connection that makes others value your presence. However, if you become too attached to others' emotions, you risk internalizing their struggles and losing your sense of stability. The Stoics recognize this delicate balance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This wisdom reminds us that while we can empathize with others, we don't have to absorb their emotions or let them control our inner peace. To practice empathy without attachment, start by refining your listening skills. In many conversations, we're so focused on preparing a response that we miss what the other person is truly saying. The next time someone shares their thoughts or feelings, pause. Focus entirely on their words, tone, and emotions. Let them finish before you respond. This act of presence shows genuine care and builds trust. Once you've listened, Respond with validation rather than solutions. Many people don't need you to fix their problems, they need to feel understood. A simple statement like, "That sounds really challenging. I can see why you'd feel that way," can be far more impactful than jumping into advice. Validation is the cornerstone of empathy, as it assures others that their experiences are seen and respected. At the same time, maintain a clear sense of your own emotional boundaries. Remind yourself that while you can support others, their journey is ultimately their own. This doesn't make you cold or detached, it makes you wise. By preserving your emotional well-being, you ensure that you can continue to be a source of support without becoming overwhelmed. Another key to balancing empathy and detachment is to approach others with curiosity rather than judgment. When someone's behavior frustrates or confuses you, ask yourself, what might they be experiencing that I don't see? This mindset shifts your focus from criticism to understanding, allowing you to respond with compassion even in difficult situations. However, empathy without attachment isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about empowering others. When you give people the space to navigate their own challenges, you show that you trust their ability to grow. This respect fosters mutual value and ensures that your relationships are based on equality, not dependence. In the context of Stoic relationships, this balance is essential. Empathy builds connection, but detachment ensures that connection remains healthy and sustainable. For instance, if a friend is going through a tough time, you might listen deeply, offer encouragement, and remind them of their strengths. But you also avoid taking on their burden as if it's your own, recognizing that your role is to support, not to solve. Stoicism also encourages us to approach relationships with gratitude. Recognize the gift of connection and the lessons others bring into your life, even when the dynamics are challenging. Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." By practicing kindness with detachment, you create a space where relationships thrive without compromising your inner peace. As you cultivate this balance, you'll notice a powerful shift in your relationships. People will begin to value you not just for your empathy, but also for your strength. They'll see you as someone who cares deeply yet remains steady, a combination that inspires trust and respect. Take a moment to reflect. How can I show empathy in my relationships without losing myself? Maybe it's setting a boundary around how much emotional energy you can give. Perhaps it's reminding yourself to listen more and solve less. Whatever it is, commit to practicing this balance in one interaction today. Empathy without attachment isn't always easy, but it's a skill that transforms the way others see you. It allows you to connect without compromising your sense of self, creating relationships that are rich, meaningful, and grounded in mutual respect. This is the essence of being valued, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet power of understanding and presence. 10. Live by a higher purpose. What drives you? Have you ever taken the time to reflect deeply on what you stand for and why you do what you do? Living by a higher purpose is the ultimate way to inspire others and make them value you. It's about aligning your actions with a mission greater than yourself, one that gives your life meaning and positively impacts those around you. People are naturally drawn to those who live with clarity and purpose, and when you embody this principle, your presence becomes unforgettable. Stoicism places immense value on purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet profound wisdom reminds us that purpose isn't found in endless contemplation or external validation, it's found in action. When you dedicate yourself to something meaningful, you not only elevate your own life but also inspire others to do the same. To live by a higher purpose, start by identifying your core values. What principles matter most to you? Is it integrity, kindness, growth, or something else? Reflect on what gives you a sense of fulfillment and what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing, it just needs to resonate deeply with who you are. Once you've clarified your values, align your daily actions with them. Purpose isn't just an abstract idea, it's a practice. If kindness is a core value, find ways to embody it in your interactions. If growth drives you, commit to learning something new every day. These small, consistent actions build a life of purpose, showing others that you're someone who doesn't just talk about values, you live them. Living with purpose also means being willing to make sacrifices. Pursuing something meaningful often requires trade-offs, whether it's letting go of comfort, facing criticism, or taking risks. But these sacrifices are what give purpose its power. They show others, and yourself, that you're committed to something bigger than fleeting pleasures or superficial success. A key aspect of purpose is resilience. Challenges are inevitable, but when you're driven by a higher mission, they become opportunities to grow rather than reasons to give up. Stoicism teaches us to embrace obstacles as part of the journey. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This mindset allows you to persevere, inspiring others to see you as a source of strength and determination. Your purpose will also shape the way you connect with others. When people see that your actions are guided by clear values, they'll begin to trust and respect you on a deeper level. They'll recognize that your choices are intentional and that your life is guided by a compass greater than personal gain. This authenticity is magnetic. It makes others want to align themselves with you and your vision. However, living by a higher purpose isn't about seeking recognition. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control, our actions, not the applause. True purpose is inwardly driven, not dependent on how others respond. When you live with this mindset, you project a quiet confidence that comes back as an admiration. Another way to live purposefully is to contribute to the well-being of others. Purpose often finds its greatest expression in service. Ask yourself, how can I use my strengths to make a positive impact? Whether it's mentoring, volunteering, or simply being a source of encouragement, these acts of service demonstrate that your life is about more than just yourself. This selflessness creates a legacy that people value deeply. As you reflect on this principle, consider this. What is the higher purpose guiding my life? If you're unsure, that's okay. Purpose isn't something you discover overnight. It's something you cultivate over time. Start small. Identify one value that resonates with you and commit to living it out in one area of your life. With each step, your purpose will become clearer and your impact will grow. If this idea resonates with you, show your support by liking this video and commenting number 1 below. Your engagement helps us share these transformative insights with more people and continue building a community of growth and purpose. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful wisdom inspired by Stoicism and practical tools to elevate your life and relationships. This is just the beginning of your journey to living with clarity, intention, and impact. You've just uncovered 10 powerful ways to actually make them value you, not with superficial tricks, but through profound, actionable principles rooted in Stoic wisdom. Each step builds upon the last, creating a framework for living with integrity, purpose, and confidence. By starting with your inner value, mastering silence, setting boundaries, and cultivating emotional control, you've learned to shape how others perceive you. By showing instead of telling, pursuing excellence quietly, and balancing empathy with detachment, you've established yourself as someone worth respecting. And by living with a higher purpose, you've unlocked the key to inspiring others and leaving a lasting impact. But here's the most important takeaway. True value starts from within. It's not about what others think, it's about how you show up in the world, guided by your principles and actions. When you embody these Stoic secrets, you not only transform your relationships, but also grow into the best version of yourself. Now it's your turn. Take these insights and put them into practice. Reflect on where you can begin today, whether it's setting a boundary, practicing gratitude, or aligning your actions with your values. Small, consistent steps will lead to profound change. If this video resonated with you, let's keep the momentum going. Like this video and comment number 1 below to show your commitment to applying these principles in your life. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights into Stoicism, personal growth, and building stronger relationships. Together, we're creating a space for meaningful transformation and a life of purpose. Thank you for watching, and remember, The journey to being truly valued starts with valuing yourself. Take that first step today, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay grounded, and live with intention.